Whew. Sorry, big guy. Oh, you just drinking? Is that milk? What are you drinking there? Oh, coffee. Oh,
Coffee.
fair, dude. I got tea, peppermint tea.
You mean Red Bull? You're drinking Red Bull, right?
Nope, I am not. I mean,
Go
this
plug.
tea would be better if it was Red Bull, but it's not Red Bull. It is tea. I even put a heart on your sheet. If you can see that, there's a heart there. Podcast questions for Kai.
I'm honored.
Yeah, well, like you said, you've been doing school lately. I was gonna ask you how that's been, man. Like, you're now officially a university student. You're no longer the scum of the earth. You're no longer a skier. You're no longer in high school. You've moved up the ranks. However, you're still at home.
No, I'm still scum. I was only a uni kid for a bit. I'm out now, but yeah, it was pretty hefty. Just like 4 months, and it was just long days, chilling
Yep.
on Zoom for 14 hours. But I escaped out now, and yeah, so I'm not doing any more school until like summer. I'll do some summer classes.
So are you fully done for the winter now?
Yeah, I've got like 2 classes online, but it'll be pretty chill. So mainly ski bumming it now.
So you front loaded all your courses in.
Yeah.
So you could come out and ski this year. Are you competing if there is contests?
Yeah, that's the plan. Like.
Okay, that's what I thought. I was just wondering.
Yeah. Yeah, no, full like normal season if there is comps.
But you just have to do 2 online courses throughout it, which is not too bad.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty chill.
Sick.
Just
So
be like,
you're back home in West now. You're living with Mama Bear, Mama Smart, Papa Smart,
yeah,
and Ice Picky, Icy Ice Pick, Luke.
that's senior lice.
Is he there? Senior Lice, is he around?
Yeah, he's out. He's at Rylands right now.
Yeah, dude, Riley moved up. Everybody else moved out to West this year. I'm literally the only one. I'm stuck here by
Everyone's
myself.
out here. You're lagging. You gotta get out.
I know, I got my pass, and I'm coming out for at least 2 weeks for a trip. I want to do some backcountry with you. I was going to ask you
Yeah.
about that because you've been doing a lot of, well, I wouldn't say like, you've been doing a lot of touring, but also like throughout the summer, you've been doing a lot of backpacking and like a lot of hiking lately. And a
Yeah.
lot of dirt biking, 2 spots and stuff. And dude, that seems like exactly what I want to do. So tell me about it, get me horned up, and then maybe you'll convince me to come make a trip out.
Yeah, it was sick. Well, I mean, like COVID rolled around, and I mean, we weren't in full lockdown. You could still go out, so
Yep,
figured I'd buy a dirt bike, which I did, and then
not a bad call.
not a bad call. And in West, there's just hella logging, which has its goods and its bads, but for a dirt biker, it's great because it's just service roads like all
Yeah.
over the place. So I just spent the summer, like, I was working landscaping in the weeks, but then after work or on the weekends, I just go out, dirt bike, and then hike up to huts, sussing out zones for the winter.
Yeah, so you're getting into the backcountry more and more, you think?
Yeah,
wanna do more
each
backcountry
year,
stuff?
getting a little more into it.
Nice, dude. I was because all those cabins and stuff, like obviously, like they're just open to anybody who comes by. But
Mhm.
what's it like? Like, do you know like where they're at, or like do you have to like book them or anything like in advance? Because like I know sometimes like you have to. There's like a limit how many people can like stay at one spot. Like, how do you kind of suss that out?
Yeah, so it depends on the hut. Like, a lot of mainstream huts, that, like, if you look up Whistler backcountry huts,
Yeah.
those are all built by like, organizations, and you have to book, and there's a limit. And with COVID now, you have to book out the whole hut, which like one hut has like 32 beds. So
Yeah,
it's pretty
it's fucked.
expensive. But there's a stupid amount of like secret huts. Like
Yep.
everyone who's lived here for like 30 years has built their own hut somewhere.
Yeah.
So the more you go out, like I've just been discovering all these random huts
Do
out
you
there.
do you discover them yourself, or do you have people tell you about them? Because like I feel like if I discovered a random hut by myself, I'd feel bad for like poaching it on weekends. Like, what if the guy that made it came out and hung out, or came out and like was like, "What are you doing here?" Like, is that something you're worried about, or are you just like everybody's kind of okay with it?
It depends on the hut. Like I know there's a couple that people are like super secretive and you don't want to go there, so I kind of just respect that. But a lot of the huts are like, there's like levels of how known it is and like the ethics of using it.
Yeah.
And a lot of them are like, when you build a hut in the backcountry, you kind of accept that anyone who goes to it will be allowed to use it.
Yeah.
So a lot of them, it's like first come, first serve. If you show up and no one's there, you just go to sleep.
Yeah.
If not, you build a snow cave and spend the night there. But
Well, that's kind of what I was wondering, because it was like, if you show up and it's like if I did put all that work in to build a badass hut, and I showed up and some 16 or some young buck like you was sitting there just dicking around with his friends and I couldn't stay there, I'd be like, first of all, I'd be kind of stoked, but also I'd be like, what the fuck? Like, you need to go. So.
Yeah, it depends. Like, I'd hope that people would just kind of give priority. Obviously, like, respect the guy who built the hut, but
yeah.
There's a lot of, like, city people who just, like, don't really care about those, like, unwritten rules.
For
yeah,
sure.
there's like a secret kind of code of ethics for huts. Like, if you tour out to a hut and there's like sledders who are there, the sledders are supposedly, they have to leave and like go out and tourists get priority, but all those rules are like,
I mean, that kind of makes sense. It's a little easier to get in and out if you have a sled.
yeah.
You and Ryland and the boys went out to one this year that had like a cliff jumping spot off of it, or a platform off it. That looks super sick. I don't know if you know what one I'm talking about, but.
Oh yeah, that platform's just like
Near.
by the highway.
So it's not even near a hut. Maybe it was like same weekend. I saw some posts about it, and I thought it was up by the hut.
We did go to a hut in the Duffy though, with Ryland. That was sweet. Sick ladies, yeah.
How's that kid doing? I haven't seen him or talked to him in so long, man. You just had shoulder surgery?
Yeah, I haven't really seen him since probably that hut trip, but
really?
He's been kicking around. Like, yeah, he can't ski right now because of shoulder, but I think he'll be back soon. So
yeah.
I gotta catch up with him.
You still got the girl? Still wifed up?
Yeah,
nice.
Wifed up. Who would have thought?
Who would have thought?
Blew everyone's minds.
Blew everyone's minds. Still going on. Sick, dude. So obviously that was kind of like summer. Did a bunch of hiking, Black Tusk and stuff like that. Bunch of cool spots. If I ever get out for the summer, we're gonna have to do some of that. But this spring, you've been skiing a bit, like. Mostly backcountry, or like mostly like a little bit of mountain stuff, or like I haven't seen a whole lot of park from the kid this year.
Oh, this year? Well, I mean, it just opened, so I've been schooling, and like the park
isn't fully set up yet.
I mean, they've got a big jump now. It's been like either I was in school or it's been a pow day, so.
Yeah, you don't go to the park on a pow day.
Wasn't about going to the park on a pow day, but yeah, I definitely want to get out and get the tricks back.
Sick, man.
Next Bluebird Day. Yeah. Park's getting there. We got 3 jumps now, so.
Oh, shit. Nice.
We'll try and get filming. We got Skier Cole out here.
Yeah, I know. I've seen it.
Film. Yeah.
He's on it. He's been getting you the IG stories and stuff. I've seen those.
Yeah, he's good to have around. I always forget to film, so he forces me to film. It's good. He's
big into the backcountry. You probably get out and do some stuff with him this year, eh?
Yeah, because he just bought a sled.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
Big moves.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm financially there yet to buy a sled or even fix my car or even pay for a ski season, but you know.
Yeah. Well, you got the Patreon.
One day. Right? Dude, I got a whole 8. Anybody listening to this podcast should probably just help me out and join the Patreon, but I got a whole 8 members now.
That's sweet, yeah.
8 whole members, dude.
What even is that? You just like... What do you offer on that?
Quick plug on the Patreon. It's basically like OnlyFans, but for my my member, just for me. And I mean, I haven't posted nudes in there yet, but we'll see down the line. No, dude, right now, all I've got in it is I got like a workout plan, the one I do, like that I got from Freestyle Ontario and stuff like that. It's like basically the same thing, just to keep the kid like workout plans for all the people that are looking for like. Stuff for skiing and like sports specific workouts, and then I got a bunch of extra vlogs and like content and stuff like that. I've been putting out 2 vlogs a month on there, extra ones, and then putting out a podcast or 2 a month, like extra ones on there, not with guests, just kind of like me and Patty or going off or just me going off, and then like I've been coaching like all the people that are in there, so like all the people that are in the Patreon, like they just ask me questions on how to do tricks. They send me videos, and I like just hook them, like just send them videos and like explain how to do every trick and help them out as much as I can. And then hopefully down the line, like was planning on doing some rail jams at Mount St. Louis and stuff this year, putting on events, and I was gonna like get all those, got everybody in the Patreon to like come for free and do shit like that. Just gonna do some games of ski and stuff in there, but we'll see.
That's sweet.
Join
the cult. I love it.
Join the cult. Help the kid out. Get him to 10 whole members. That's only 2 more. If 2 people from this podcast join, then my rod will be pushed and my day will be made.
You heard it here first, everyone.
I heard it here first. I'm starting to have more fun with the podcast. I'm starting to get a little looser with it, not as like concerned. So it's kind of like, Because it's kind of weird talking to, like, first of all, dude, like, this is like a podcast I'm just doing with you. Like, you're a good friend of mine. But, like, I've had a couple podcasts with people, like, I didn't know or haven't talked to, like, whatsoever beforehand. And it's just, like, it's weird talking to somebody for the first time, like, and trying to do an interview style. But, way she goes.
Gotta binge Joe Rogan, steal all his moves. He's mastered it.
He's got to figure it out for sure, but...
Yeah, I mean, you're doing well. You're a very social, outgoing person.
When I turn it on, man, I'm kind of been a lone wolf lately. I've been doing my own shit. Like, I literally been just training MMA 7 days a week and then skiing and then... But, like, no one's home, like, where I ski. Like, even all the people my age that ski Mount St. Louis and stuff, I haven't been there yet this year, but they're all gone this season. And, like, maybe they'll only come weekends. Basically, I'm in Parry Sound by myself, just skiing and training. So it's getting boring. I wanted to make a full, like, cover out to Whistler for, like, the whole season.
Yeah.
But
that's what I thought you were doing. I don't know why you... I mean, I guess with Maximize, it's not a bad spot to be, but if you're just...
With Maximize, it's not a bad spot to be, but I know myself, and I know if I make the trip out west, I'm not going to be able to control myself, and I'm not going to be as productive. I'm not going to get as much stuff done. I'm going to definitely maybe party a little bit too much and go off the rails a little too much. Not off the rails, but, like, not as, like, buckled down and productive as I want to be. Oh, so I can't train MMA in Whistler, which is, like, kind of become a big thing for me now. I got Snap that's popping up on the screen, but yeah, I don't know. I've kind of like just gonna play it by ear. I think I'll definitely make like 1 or 2 trips out, and then maybe I'll just make like 1 trip out and just never come back. Who knows?
Yeah, that's the way Whistler works.
It is the way. It's a trap, man. It's like the world's best trap.
Yeah.
It gets you there, and then you like stay there, and you love it, and you never leave. And you're probably not wrong to leave. Anyways, dude, what are you going to school for again?
Business.
Smart little mans.
Following
in my footsteps. You gonna drop out after a year?
No way. It might take me a while to finish it.
But you're not gonna.
Schedule I'm doing, but.
Yeah, how is it extended then? Like how long is it supposed to take you with the schedule you're doing now?
Yeah, it normally takes 4 years.
Yeah.
It'll take me probably 5.
That's not too bad.
I think 6. Like you're not allowed to go over 6, but. Because, yeah, I'm just doing it, like, in the off-season.
But even if you push it to 6, it's not bad.
Yeah,
like, it still takes a while, but, like, whatever.
Yeah.
It's
not really conflicting with skiing at all either, so.
That's sick, because I thought you were gonna be, like, in van most of the ski season, like, just trying to, like, make trips up to go every once in a while.
Yeah.
But you're gonna be fully in Wisp, which is super sick.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's sweet.
That's unreal, dude. All right. I just gotta keep checking if this camera is working because every once in a while it shuts off. But yeah. So I guess let's get into it, man. Tell the kids on the podcast about what life was like for young Kai growing up, because that's like kind of what we do here. We kind of relive people's backstories, talk about shit, and yeah. Tell us what it's like growing up in Whistler as a Whist kid. First of all, your parents, for people that don't know, own Momentum Ski Camps, so skiing is kind of. Well, I don't know how it came. I actually don't think we've ever had this conversation, but I don't know how you got into skiing, but I'm assuming it came pretty, like, organically and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, like, I grew up in a very ski-oriented household.
Yeah.
But my parents were big skiers, so Luke and I got going pretty early at, like, 2. It's kind of like the trend with most Whistler kids, because all their parents are ski bums, so it's the way of the road here. But, yeah, I just... grew up skiing my whole life, started freestyle when I was like 9, doing little provincial comps and stuff.
Did you ever do moguls or racing?
Yeah, I was big into moguls for a while. Like at one point I was like 14, I didn't know whether I was going to go moguls or park. Like I got into BC team for moguls before park.
Oh no.
Like the year before, so I was fully considering it. I was like, oh, like...
You made the right choice. Might I just say.
Yeah, no, I'm not a mogul skier, but
no.
Like I like moguls, it was fun, but I couldn't see myself doing that longer than 5 years. Yeah,
I also think you probably saved yourself a little bit of knee injuries, maybe 2 extra years on your knees going park, so it's not bad. And then so growing up, all that stuff. How long has your parents always owned Momentum or ran Momentum?
Yeah, they started in like 92.
So, like, growing up every summer, you guys were up in the glacier, like, either shredding mogs or shredding the park?
Yeah, like, when we were like 8 or 9, we went for the first time. I think like it wasn't the whole time because we were pretty young, and it wasn't the best learning environment originally.
No,
but,
well, especially like back in the day, like the park scene's probably a little more loose and off the rails than it is now.
Yeah, no, definitely now it's like
Kid oriented.
good. Yeah, like you can go when you're 6 now, and it's a good environment. But,
Yeah. But freestyle skiing back in those days is a little looser. And
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of crazy that we're able to put on something like that with like, because I don't know, from like my point of view, like freestyle skiing back then, well, didn't have as big of like audience or as big of like I don't know, like 15, 20 years ago, like what parents going to send their kid all the way to Whistler for a summer camp to go ski? Like, is it just mostly
Yeah.
like adults and stuff, or like pros? Like, that's kind of weird, like how you can have enough people to support something like that.
It was like, I mean, park was definitely still an emerging sport back then, but
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
even in the early thousands, like in the 90s, I don't think slope was even like fully realized
Yeah.
as a discipline, but then in the early thousands, that was kind of when it like blew up.
It's dying down now.
Yeah,
We're a dying breed,
I mean,
for sure.
Skiing in general was definitely like more people do it now, but back in the day, like it was a much larger event, like real money in skiing back then,
Yeah.
like in the 80s and 90s compared to what it is now.
Well,
but,
dude, like the events back then, like X Games back in the day, people were getting like $50K for an event.
Yeah.
And like you were,
it's huge.
yeah, you're not gonna get that now. And then sponsors
Yeah.
are paying out way more back then too. Like in Simon Dumont era, like I think it was his podcast actually. I listened to one of his, and he said he made his first million or something like when he was like 16 or some shit or something like that. And I'm like, there's no 16-year-old skier that's going to be making that like at this day and age, like let alone many skiers in general that are going to, there's probably a couple, but like very little.
Yeah,
that are
yeah.
making
I mean,
that
there's
level.
a few out there, like,
But
it's
not a
possible,
lot.
But not a lot. Like back then, like all of them, like Yoon Olsen, I remember, like
Yeah.
he first made $1 million and bought a Lambo.
Yeah, like making tons of money. Yeah.
I mean, he came from like a pretty wealthy family, but still to be like buying a Lambo when you're like just a little kid on the park circuit.
Yeah,
Sweet.
exactly. It's pretty insane. And like nowadays it's like clamoring to get enough money to do a full contest season to lose money on it.
Yeah,
'Cause,
yeah,
like-
no, it's not a sustainable sport.
It's definitely not a sustainable
Yeah.
business model either.
Oh,
for
no.
most-
Oh, I mean,
for most
it's a great
aspects.
it's a great business model for Freestyle Canada, but as an athlete,
As an athlete it's hard, yeah, for sure.
yeah.
But even going from like local rail jams and stuff, like you go to a local rail jam now, you win first place, you get like $200 and a free hat. Like back in the day, you get like go to rail jam for like $2,000 and stuff. Like Horseshoe and like Mount St. Louis and Blue Mountain used to put on events with like $5,000 prizes and stuff like that.
Oh, really? Yeah, that's
Yeah,
sweet.
like not a couple of years ago, but back in the day. And now it's like you go to a rail jam and you make like $200, $300 for first place, but then you spend like $50 on the pass the cheaper pass they give you, and then like $20 in entry fees, and then you're like, if you don't win, you like lose like $80 to $100 just to enter a contest. It's like
Oh yeah, I mean, I guess it's just a different environment because rail jams here,
are pretty good.
how they've been like when I was growing up. Well, it wasn't really like treated as a full contest. It was just like at night they'd set up a couple rails and it'd be more of just like a natural rail jam, like the homies session.
Yeah.
And they'd have some prizes like skis to give away, but nothing crazy. It was more of just a jib sesh, less money oriented comp. But the East Coast is the rail center, so I guess that would make sense if there's a bigger ordeal over there.
Yeah, for sure. One sec. I gotta find a charger for my iPhone because she's gonna die. I really was not like fully prepared for this podcast, but you gotta do what you gotta do, Kai.
Yeah.
I've
Big
been
influencer, Bruce.
big influencer, Bruce. Big influencer, Bruce. Well, you know what? I realized that if I'm being 100% honest with myself, I'm not going to make any real money in skiing unless I go more of this route. Like, it's not very easy. Like,
Yeah.
sponsors nowadays, I've talked about this on the podcast a couple times, but sponsors sponsors this day and age genuinely don't care too much if you're going to, like, win a World Cup, but if you can like sell their product and sell their stuff like through social media or just through your like what you have in general, then they care a lot about that more, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, for sure. Like,
If you can
there's
do
so
both,
many-
then you're set.
There's so many like unreal skiers from WIS who just no one knows about,
Oh, dude,
but it's all just like
it's insane.
Instagram followers. That's the new digital currency to leverage sponsors, I guess. But
Yeah, and I mean it is kind of like what you got to do. But
it fully makes sense from a company's point of view.
yeah, you don't
Like,
want
with
to
what
pay
you've got
somebody.
going. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I don't have that much going now, but like I have been doing more and more and more, and like
hmm
I don't know, like it makes sense. Like if you have a podcast that a lot of people listen to, like obviously this podcast hasn't blown up or anything yet, but like there's a decent amount of listeners, but like you have podcasts that have like hundreds of thousands of listeners, tens of thousands of listeners, or you can have one person who wins a World Cup and 50 people see him on the podium at that event, and then that's all that ever see it again, right? Like if you really think about it, like a World Cup podium, maybe you have 100 people that are there to see it, and then you don't post about it on your Instagram, and like maybe like nobody like really no news sites really cover it because it's not like a big thing in the news. It's not like you won the 100-meter dash in the Olympics.
Yeah.
So like it's not really bringing a lot of brand awareness unless you win the Olympics, and that would be a different story. But
Yeah. Yeah, no, for
Yeah.
sure. And I think like a lot of skiers are realizing it, that it's not like as so much of companies rewarding you for your ability. It's more them like seeking out athletes who can like really accelerate their brand and promote it well.
yeah, which is their job because their job is
Which
to sell
of
their
course, yeah.
stuff. Yeah, but it also kind of sucks because it sucks for some people like that don't want to play the game because like you do. It's like one of those things like you have a choice, but like it's also very hard to go the underground route and like make a living off skiing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You gotta cave. Like
You
I
ca-
got TikTok a couple of days ago.
You're
I
a
caved.
TikTok master. Although I will say your TikToks are the best TikToks. Before you were posting like purely ski content, or not purely ski content, but where you're just like posting whatever you felt like and making your really funny TikToks, it cracked me up. There's some
Yeah,
good
that's
stuff.
right. My old TikToks, they're all privated.
Yeah, well,
but-
you have to because you have to be aware. You have to be aware of like brands and stuff and what they. Like if your sponsors, like not saying that you're posting anything bad, but like if your sponsors were to see something that was posted bad, like just for any athlete in general, well, we saw what happened to Kieran and Devin Fagan. We can bring that up on
yeah.
the podcast. You're gonna get canceled, and
Yeah.
then you're really not gonna have any way of supplying yourself or supplementing yourself. So
Yeah.
you definitely have to be careful nowadays, and kind of just don't be a dick, I guess. Where she goes.
Yeah.
Enough of that nonsense. So. Who was your biggest idol growing up skiing, Kai? Who was little Kai Smart? Little Kai Smart. He was ripping the park. He was ripping the backcountry. He was hanging out with friends. He was waking up in Whisk, taking the bus or walking to the mountain. Can you walk from your house?
Yeah, it's like 15 minutes.
Oh, sick. Yeah. Who are you thinking about? What videos were you watching before you go up? All that good stuff.
Probably growing up, like the biggest hype. I don't know if you know Down to Film,
Yeah.
Zach Moxley. Like
Yeah.
those edits of Bloody Ink and Gunplay.
Yep. If you don't know the gunplay edit, like,
Yeah,
yeah.
that was like the go-to every morning before skiing. You just watch that, get super fired up. So like all the local riders, just to be able, because like you're seeing them every day ripping black line.
Yep.
That was definitely the biggest like inspiration for me growing up.
That's
The
super
Wilson,
sick.
yeah.
What are you
the
gonna say?
Wilsons, and
Wilson?
they kind of dropped off, but
Yeah,
They were
well,
going.
that's based off other reasons, but yeah. We
all of
won't
them
bring it
like
up.
B. Reed, Brendan Reed.
Super sick,
know,
dude. Yeah.
Yeah, he's sweet. Just always out there, like, be hiking a rail in, like, 80K winds in the rain and in the T-shirt. Super sick to see. Like, yeah,
Just
they're
going
all,
after it.
all the local guys, because that's what's sweet about Whistler. It's just, like, you're surrounded by all these heavy-hitting skiers, so that was a huge inspo growing up.
Dude, even at like local Little Hills now, like you go and stop by or you're just skiing and you'll see people that are just lighting up tricks and you're like, who the hell is this guy? I've never seen
Yeah.
him before. And you're like, this is unreal. My goal is to be that, like, is to put out this year I want to put out some edits that like kids like me growing up the day or you growing up the day can like
Yeah.
watch every day before they go to the ski hill and get super stoked to go just shredding stuff.
Yeah.
You want to know something funny?
What?
My gunplay edit, the one I used to always listen to, was Roots by Max Moffat, and he's in the other room just talking to it. Yeah, that was the one I would rip every day at Louis. Like, I'd make sure in the chalet I'd watch that, like this all 7 minutes of it before I went out skiing. And that was the one. I want to make an edit like that.
Now you're living with him.
Well, no,
That's
now I'm
good.
sleeping on my couch in my sister's apartment thing that they're renting. But I mean, we're almost there.
Oh yeah, it's good enough.
Good enough, yeah. Exactly. That's funny though how that goes up, or how that goes on. So, Kai, competing, freestyle skiing, traveling, me, you, and all the boys, everybody that we ski and hang out with. We've been to some pretty cool places. We've done some pretty cool stuff. Have a lot of stories. A lot of them we can't share for obvious reasons. A lot of them we can share for obvious reasons. But what's the coolest place you've been to for skiing and the best trip you've been on?
The coolest place
Yeah.
would be Holland. So
Holland.
This is like,
You went to Holland?
yeah, so my mom's from Holland, and
Okay.
this wasn't like competing or anything, but I was there
Yeah.
like visiting my grandma, and they've got this indoor like ski slope there, and Luke and I like rented some race skis because that's all we had, and that was like the craziest place. They had a little park, like a down flat down. We were like session.
So the coolest place you ever been was an indoor ski place on racing skis.
So wild. Well, because Holland's just this like flat place, farmland, and all of a sudden
Yeah.
you're like walking into this indoor ski slope, skiing on race skis. Like it was pretty surreal. But I
That's
mean,
super sick.
aside from that, I mean, Yukon's a pretty interesting place. Like I found that was an experience my first year at Yukon, especially you. That was when I first met you, and
Yeah.
you kind of exposed me to another side of skiers. I guess you've branched out of that personality, but
What? Oh, that personality. That was the old Bruce. This is the
yeah, old Bruce.
this is the
that was
new
the-
Bruce.
That was when I was first exposed to the Bruce Ryland, Kyle Doherty trio.
Yeah, that was back in the OG Team Ontario days, and
Yeah,
I mean, as I like to say, we like to have a lot of fun, but it was definitely interesting. My first time getting exposed to that side of skiing was in the Yukon as well, and I got exposed to none other than Riley Culver.
oh yeah, I missed that year. Yeah,
The Riley Culver year was insane.
I've heard stories.
Riley Culver, and Alex Zastry, and
Yeah.
somehow I got roped into hanging out with them a little bit, and yeah, it was interesting. That's for sure.
Yeah, we should probably end that conversation there, but
Yeah, exactly. I just gotta turn the camera back on because it turns off after 30 minutes. That's why I
Okay.
don't like using this one. It just like shuts off after 30 minutes. But I think I got it whopping again. Maybe. But yeah. We'll end that conversation before it gets too out of hand. There's a lot of cool stories, a lot of interesting stories. I'm sure every skier. Look at this, the big cam, big Kai in the cam. Ooh, give the ladies a little teeth bite for them. Wow, sexy. But
that was so cringe. You gotta cut that out.
I will. I'll cut it out. Well, I'll just like black it out, and then we'll leave it for audio only, and then they can just imagine what just happened.
Yeah, they can just.
They can think of every TikTok star and then put Kai's face on them.
Yeah, but you can just cover that up with some
I mean,
TikTok guy. I don't know, yeah, but like
Just do
I feel like every place I go to is just like my new favorite spot.
yeah.
Like especially the States, like going to the States, like going to Aspen for the first time. Park City, that was crazy. I was so blown away by how small Park City was.
Dude, we
I don't
went
know about
last
you, but-
year. Me,
Yeah.
you, and I guess all the boys that were on the ski team that year. It was me, you, Chase. Who else was there? Who else was on the team there? I'm trying to remember. There's more. Nick was hurt. Nick was out.
Nick, he was there though at Aspen. Oh, but Park City.
Park City, no.
When we were in that little dungeon place, yeah.
Dude, that was the funniest place. It was Luke, you and Ice Picker too.
Yeah.
Ice Picker was
Yeah.
there. Yeah, and then Park City, because Park City, you watch all the videos. And like growing up, I watched all the videos of Park City. You watch all the videos. We've never been. First time going to Park City. I thought like from every person I heard that it's a huge mountain. The entire mountain is just all park, like
Yeah.
urban legend, and it's like the size of like the outback. Still super sick, but like complete opposite of what I
Yeah,
expected.
it was sweet, like fast laps, like the rails were dope, but just rolling up like because the mountain behind it's like pretty big.
Yeah, for
The
sure.
park chair is tiny, and we were like, that's not Park City. Like, that's like the baby park. Like,
Yeah.
no way that's Park City. But then we roll up, and of course, it's like Simon and T-Wall just filming their edit. Like, oh,
Dude.
like the culture there is so awesome.
That was so funny because it was literally our first lap in Park City ever.
Yeah.
And we were like trying to snake up the chair without having to pay for our pass for the day, which we managed to do successfully. You can't come after us now because it's too late in advance.
Yeah.
But we literally roll up to the chairlift and we're like, this can't be the park. And then literally the first two people that get on a chair in front of us are Simon Dumont and Tom Walsh. And it's like, what the fuck? It was insane.
Yeah.
And then we just came from, because we had a contest in at Woodward Copper. Or was it, is it Cop? No, it's
No,
Park
Copper
City.
would be, Park City.
Park City, yeah. Park City Woodward. And we were like in between, like instead of doing a big air training day, we went there, I think, right? Or we did half and half.
Yeah, we did like morning or something. Yeah.
But I remember me and you because like Woodward I've never been. I don't think you've ever been to Woodward before, right?
No.
Yeah. We show up and it's like literally like every like teenager's dream, like a sendy teenager like me. You just like skate
That place
park.
Yeah.
It's insane. There's like a gymnastics floor, a huge foam pit, a parkour thing, 6 skate park, like literally everything.
Yeah.
And me and you would
Park
just,
City's insane.
dude, me and you would just sesh rollerblades. We just go throw rollerblades on and like sesh rollerblades like before our slope runs and like comp runs. Like, dude, I remember being like rushing to get my ski boots on just to get to like training on time because I was too busy rollerblading and like hitting all the foam pits in the skate park and stuff, and you were skating and shit. And we were trying to do flat ground backflips.
Oh,
I remember trying to learn those.
Yeah.
But dude, it's like
Yeah, the place is insane. It's like every kid's dream. You roll up, like, you could just spend 24 hours there. Like, that's what we were doing. We just, like, seize every minute we were there. Like,
I have never had so much fun before an event. I think I had more fun rollerblading in that little like mini pipe than actually like at the contest. But the contest was super sick and the hill was super sick too. But that's like everybody. That's my dream to own something like that one day. Just like have that in my backyard, kind of like a Maximize mixed with one of those.
Yeah.
It would be super unreal. All right, dude, we've clapped out 35 minutes. I got like a couple more questions for you, but we'll run through them and we'll keep talking to your beautiful face before my camera dies fully. It'll die eventually, but way she goes. So WSF, WSSF. You filmed a video for it called Los Amigos. You guys won it.
Yeah.
Tell us about that. Tell us about that. Tell the kid and all the listeners about that, because that's interesting.
Yeah, so WSSF is the Whistler or World Ski and Snowboard Festival in Whistler, which has been going for a long time. They used to have a huge park comp and pipe comp with like all the pros that would come out, and then that kind of like dwindled down to just a big air. But they've always every year had this huge film festival called Intersection, where you have like teams of skiers and filmers, and you have 7 days to shoot and film a movie. And so I'd done it for 3 years, the first 2 years with a group called GG Dub. And then in the third year, which would have been, 2 years ago, I joined with Los Amigos.
The boys?
And that's, like, it's basically all the UBC ski and board guys, like Dylan Runner and Axel Runner. They kind of spearheaded that, and Kobo. And, we filmed for a week. I missed a comp. I think there's a comp in Mammoth. Yeah. And I decided to film this instead.
Good call.
I was stoked on that decision. And, we just filmed for a week. I mainly just filmed park. And we took the dub, so that was sweet.
That's awesome, dude. What's it like to put together, like, I mean, I know you were, like, there's a lot of you guys that did it and stuff, but what was it like to see, like, a final project like that come together? Because that was, like, I mean, every kid, like, growing up park skiing and stuff has made, like, their own, like, edit, but no, it's different when you make, like, something like that. It's like a movie with, like, a lot more goes into it. And to see the final, like, product come together, and then it gets played in, like, do they play it in the theater there, or do they play it at,
it's in, like, it's the conference center, so
yeah,
it's like
exactly.
A huge area with, like, I don't know, might be like 1,000 or more people watching, but
yeah, what's that like? That experience has got to be pretty cool.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's like definitely a surreal moment because you just roll up, like they call you on stage and you're just standing there like on stage with a bunch of people. But I mean, in terms of like the process of production, I was just an athlete getting film.
Yeah, for sure.
I didn't really go through the editing process, but all the boys editing killed it. Spent like 48 hours straight just overnight on the computer because it's such a grind to do that all in 7 weeks.
Yeah, because you only have 7 weeks to do it, right?
Or 7 days, sorry.
7 days, yeah, to do it?
Yeah.
Do you have 7 days to film and edit it?
Yeah, film and edit.
Holy shit. Because you guys had a lot of backcountry shots in there, too. That's, like, not a lot. Like, yeah, you guys had some in there, and that's not easy to film those, let alone put those out in 7 days.
Yeah, and it's really weather dependent, too. So the first 2 days of, like, the 7-day period.
Well, that sucks, guys. I apologize because my phone has died. She just ran right off the fucking rails. Let me see what I can do here. I'm gonna plug it back in, and we'll be back to you in a second with more Kai. Hey, dude. I'm sorry you cut out there. We had some problems. The phone died. This has been the most unorganized podcast of my life.
All good.
I promise it's not always like this. One time you're gonna have to come down to Louis, do a weekend trip, and you can come hang out at my house and we'll do one in studio.
Yeah.
I just went while my phone charged up. I had my phone plugged in and it died while I was plugged in, but I had it plugged into my computer, so I got it plugged into like a big charger now, so it should charge fast enough. I went and mucked some chicken in the intermission though.
Right on.
Little chicken muck in the intermission. I'm glad he stayed stayed around
Yeah.
to rip the rest. Sorry about that, dude. But
It's pretty late there, hey?
it's like 9 o'clock now. Yeah. It's like usually like most of the podcasts I do, people are in different time zones, so it kind of just like go with what works for other people. But it's good. It's chill. It's nice to do like, well, it's not nice to do it in different time zones, but like sometimes it works out alright. Usually I'm not home till this time, like because I'm doing MMA till like 9:30, and then like it works well because like the other person doesn't have to stay up late, but. Yeah, anyways, we're talking about WSF and all that stuff, and you just saying how like sick it was to like be at something. Well, like I guess be on a stage like that and have like put together a project.
Yeah, that was sweet, and definitely got me fired up to do a bunch more. Like obviously it got canceled last year, but
Yeah,
this year there's a bunch more people that just moved to WIS, so I'm definitely working on getting a bunch of projects out there, like more larger scale, like higher quality movies and short edits and stuff. So
yeah, some short edits would be sick because you guys with everybody that's there now that's park skiing and like, I mean obviously you don't want to just do park skiing. I know you probably want to do some backcountry stuff too, but you guys could put together some pretty insane like even like 5-minute edits. Like you guys could put together a gunplay edit for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Like everyone's out here, and like everyone's stoked to film. Everyone's trying to produce content, so I think it'd be sweet to get together. Like I've got a couple ideas in mind. Like
Yeah, exactly.
got a huge like Armada crew.
Yeah.
At least like 4 of us. So thinking of doing like an Armada edit here and another larger one with all the boys, and yeah, so definitely gonna try and create some higher quality projects as to just the old iPhone Instagram edits.
I'm the king of that, man. The amount I'm gonna put out this year is gonna be unreasonable.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna put out so many Instagram edits, people are gonna want to gouge their eyes out. But I also want to put out a lot of bigger edits this year. It'd be cool to get like to the point where, like, hopefully by the point next year, I'm at the point with vlogs and like podcasts and skiing and stuff where I can have like somebody who's like a filmer that comes and tags along and like maybe like all my sponsors pull together and pay them to like just help put out the weekly like episodes of the vlog and the podcast and stuff and like content, and then we can have like me and you and like all the boys that are out in WIS like go do like a 2-week. I'll go do a 2-week trip out or go move out for like however long, and we can actually put out some like really like higher end stuff and like really put the time in to do it properly, because like right now like me by myself like I don't have the bandwidth to do as much as I want to, and I'm not good enough with editing and stuff to like put together like projects and stuff like that or filming in general. But it'd be really sick to be able to do stuff like that. Have I told you about
I think
my?
that'd be sweet.
Yeah.
Like so many people who are doing those vlogs like in biking and skiing, like sponsors love that, and I know like a lot of companies got behind that. So
Yeah, for sure. But like I want to do it like in a very like I don't know. I don't want to like.
not so corporate.
I want to do it like obviously like you have to do it corporate and like reasonably corporate, just because like otherwise you're not gonna have sponsors and stuff on board with projects like that if they're not corporate. But I want to be able to like just kind of like just do yourself like do yourself. Wouldn't that be fun? Like do it like in your own like style, like because we're all like such characters. Like literally, if you put a camera, like if you made a TV show of like our ski team, like the Graham Pollock ski team of degenerates, if you had like a full on TV crew, like it would be a hit TV show. It would be like a hit TV show, and we could still keep it PG, like but just like it would just because everybody on the team and everybody that. I mean, most skiers in general, but like all of us are just such characters and like have entertaining and like wild ideas and just like kind of just go like with the flow or do whatever like you feel like, and it just makes for very interesting content and really good times overall. Like I have the most fun when I'm on ski trips, hanging out with everybody and just kind of like obviously like skiing hard and still working hard and doing stuff like that, but like just kind of like just hanging out and just like having fun and sending it with the boys.
Yeah.
It's always good.
Well, I mean, look at Chug Life. Did you ever watch Chug Life?
I have done my research on Chug Life, although he is not corporate enough. He would get banned in today's day and age.
Chug Life was pretty successful with that.
Back in the day, yeah.
That was a good, yeah.
I mean, I don't think you could get away with doing it to that point
Oh,
nowadays at all, but it would be really cool to be able to do it to that point nowadays. It's kind of funny because like it's one of those sports like where it's an action sport and it's like kind of like in that genre, but it's kind of moved towards the corporate side. Like if you look at dirt biking, like all the pro dirt bikers have like girls in like topless bikinis and stuff in all their videos, and they're just like rock star lifestyle and like just like doing whatever they want. And then skiing edits, it's like you kind of have to be somewhat respectable to be covered by those big brands. Whereas like you see like all the big like athletes in like dirt biking or stuff like that, they're not as corporate.
Yeah, that's just dirt biking as a sport.
I think it's just dirt biking as a sport. The redneck community stands behind it, and they just support them no matter what. Metal militia all the way. Flat caps turned sideways, monster in hand, ready to roll.
Yeah.
But it would be really fun to put out content to that degree as well. Although you would have to be careful with what you said. You can't get canceled nowadays.
Maybe that's what your Patreon's for.
Maybe that is what my Patreon is. I also thought about doing an OnlyFans like super undercover like. But I was like, I'm gonna get found out one day. It'd be kind of fun, but like.
I think all the boys here would pitch in for your OnlyFans, Bruce.
See, like if you guys supported me, that's all I need. Like in my life, like I don't need sponsors. I just need the boys, the Whistler boys, to support my OnlyFans, and I'll be set.
Yeah.
Dude, there's like even a bunch of like UFC fighters and stuff that have like these girls have OnlyFans and stuff like that. And I mean, I guess UFC is a little different because like generally as a company they don't really care what their athletes put out.
Oh yeah, not at all.
Not at all, but like that's why I always thought it was kind of cool to be to be an athlete in like a sport like that because like you're literally open to doing whatever you want, like in terms of like your like income based off of your athletic and how you perform and stuff. You're not really judged upon that, which I think is pretty cool.
Well, I mean, like you could do that in skiing. It's just kind of like the whole culture of like digital media nowadays. You wouldn't have canceled if you're disrespectful. So
yeah, but like
good to have a good digital image.
For sure, yeah, you have to keep your digital image clean. But like as a skier, if you were like let's say the top female skier and you made an OnlyFans. And publicly had that on your Instagram or something like that, like this is something you do, like you probably wouldn't have a whole lot of sponsors. You would make a lot of money, but you wouldn't have a whole lot of sponsors.
You might pick up a few sponsors just in a different area.
Genre, did you see that Pornhub was sponsoring athletes at one point?
No, I didn't.
What? It was like a year ago. They had like Pornhub had I forget. It was like a sponsor, like you put in like a full on like form and submit a request to be a sponsored athlete, and they picked like 10 people. I don't know what happened to those 10 people, but they picked them. I definitely filled it out, but yeah, it was pretty cool. I was like, that's interesting. I mean, it's probably not the most, like, it was kind of just more for jokes, but I thought it was funny.
Yeah. No, I mean, like, like, exactly, you can do that. Like, there's a bunch of skiers, like, sponsored by beer companies, and
yeah,
it just depends on, like, what kind of brand you're working with.
For sure.
Resonate with that, like, grungy dirt bike lifestyle
and
vibe, and other ones are more, like,
Yeah,
thought
and
about that, which is understandable.
yeah, it makes sense for sure. And like especially when you're at a point like what we're doing, like I mean, trying to compete to get to like an Olympic level or something like that. And for sports that are in the Olympics, like I don't dirt biking's not in the Olympics,
Yeah.
but like sports with like national teams and stuff, they definitely you have to make sure you have a clean image for that. Like you can't be like a representative of your nation and be on OnlyFans all day. Like it's just
Yeah.
they're just not gonna let that
Yeah.
fly, no matter how good of an athlete you are, and
Yeah.
that's definitely fair and that's respectable, but it's just interesting. And I mean, like same with professional jobs, I guess. Like if you're in a profession like in corporate or something, you can't have things like that surrounding you. Usually, sometimes you can get away with it, but
Yeah. Unless you're a stock trader, investment banker, but
or
every other
Dan
corporate job,
Blazarian, yeah, you're set.
Yeah.
Exactly. All right, Kai. Well, I've been asking everybody this question. I always say this on the podcast. Maybe I'll come up with a couple more questions for you after this, but where do you see yourself in 5 years, and what does the future look like for little Kai Smart?
Oh, I have no clue.
Well, you got 5 years of school, but let's pretend that doesn't count.
Yeah, no, school's just like a side thing. I don't know. I mean, everything skiing related is like all up in the air, but
This year,
ideally, like, depending on how I can do, it'd be sweet to get the tricks and go on to like next gen national team and see
Yep.
where that goes.
for
If
sure.
I can do that, and then yeah, like I'll definitely be skiing in some way or form, whether that be competing or filming. But I'm definitely gonna push this competition route for the next couple of years.
Yeah, for sure, dude.
Where it goes.
Do it while you
But,
can.
I gotta get to maximize the tricks people are throwing are really escalating. So I gotta step up.
Dude,
Get the all way quads, you know, to match comp skiing nowadays. But
it's insane, man.
yeah,
Like, even what I've seen at Maximize this, like, past, like, 8 or 9, I guess it's, like, been 6 days, but the past 6 days, it's been pretty crazy what people are
yeah,
doing. And just, like, you can see just, like, taking it from, like, straight up from an airbag to, like, snow, like, the benefit it has, but it is a
Yeah.
lot. And, yeah, I mean, I don't know, like, I would watch, like, because I made a video on, like, top 10 best big air tricks or whatever on YouTube, and I was, like, going through, like, trying to find tricks for it, and I looked at some of the tricks, and I'm like, holy hell, like, Burkrud did Trip 18 mute, Dub
Yeah.
Bio 18 mute, and there's, like, Andre Getley did Switch Triple Misty. I mean, like, there's just, like, some crazy accesses and tricks that are being done nowadays. It's, like,
yeah.
the level of jumping has gotten to the point where it's, like, well, you probably should land, otherwise you're probably going to be out for a year. Like,
Yeah, it's crazy. Like, what Fib Magnan, probably pronounced
Yep.
that wrong, but what he's been doing is just insane. Like, the switch trip and, like,
Switch
what
Trip
was
10,
that?
yeah, and Dub Bio 18.
Yeah, Dub Bio 18. Like, just the landing on that was just
Dude.
insane.
That was the first video of this season that I watched, that Dub Bio 18, where I watched it, because you know the side view of that him
Yeah.
doing that jump? I watched it, and I was like, and like how deep he goes and how much impact comes around. I'm like, if you get lost in the air on that and you land on your head, you're not okay.
Oh, yeah, no.
Like
Yeah.
that one like really put it in, like that trick really put it into perspective for me. I was like, this is not like if you land like you land on your side and like you get lost, you land on your side and like you might break an arm. This is like you land on your side and you're like in a hospital for a long time.
Yeah, like, you're going
Yeah,
150 feet, huge drop.
yeah, missing most of the landing
Yeah, like, all the content coming out of Stubai, like,
is
the
insane.
faction edit,
Yeah,
that was insane. Buddy, Matej.
dude, that guy's an animal. I watched.
Nice.
Did you see the video on his Instagram of him doing a switch triple front flip like over that little bump?
No,
I'll
I
send
don't
it to
know
you.
if I have seen
He
that.
did a
Yeah,
switch
but-
triple front. It's like no, it's just like a random video on Instagram. It's like a cloudy day. He does like a switch front flip, a switch 5, a couple other tricks, a switch 10, and then all of a sudden he does a switch triple front flip on like a 25-foot jump, like a literally 25-foot jump, just tucked like as hard as he can and stomps it. I'm like,
He's insane.
like there's no landing either. Like
And he's super steady too. That's what's dope about him. Like,
Yeah, he's got a
not
lot of
just like an
style.
airbag jock. Like, yeah, he's got style.
he's not just another like aerialist skier, which is sick.
Yeah.
I was gonna have him on the podcast, but he doesn't speak good enough English to do a full 45 or hour long podcast with me soon.
Yeah. What is it? What's it like? Does he speak French or?
I don't know. I don't
German?
really.
What-
I don't know what people speak down there. I'm not cultured enough, guy. I
I
haven't been
I
out.
don't know where he's from. Yeah,
Can you believe it? I haven't been out to Europe to go skiing yet. Not once.
you gotta get out there.
Have you
Neither
been?
have I. Maybe
Yeah.
I was planning on doing a big because I was supposed to take a gap year,
Yeah.
and then they like declined my deferral request, so that got.
Oh, is that what happened? I thought you were gonna take a gap year. I was wondering why you went to school.
My original plan, I was gonna go to New Zealand for like a month,
Yeah.
and then buy a sled and do a bunch more like
Stuff like
international
that.
traveling. But I mean, either way, that all would have got shut down anyways.
Yeah, exactly.
Are you gonna go to the States? You think for comps?
It sounds like what they're doing with the NORAMs this year is they're gonna put all the ones in Canada and then all the ones in the States, and then they're gonna separate the two and then pick a winner at the end. So there'll be States only NORAMs, Canadian only NORAMs, and then go from there. So I don't think so. I mean, I would like to go to the States just to like ski with all the boys out there and stuff, and like I'd love to do a trip and hit some different mountains, but I don't want to quarantine twice,
Yeah.
and money wise, it probably doesn't make sense. So
Yeah.
I mean, it'd be
Yeah, that's
it'd be
the
fun.
thing. It's really just that quarantine on the way back because you don't have to quarantine when you get in, but
Well, we don't. If the rules change, maybe not. Maybe, but yeah, you
Yeah.
don't have to quarantine on the way in, but on the way back, it's still 2 week quarantine, and then like, I think it might be like a quarantine on the way there actually, depending on what state you go to. But I'm
yeah,
not sure.
yeah, maybe it's just by state, but
Yeah, because like that was definitely like a thing that I was taking into consideration. I wanted to do the Tom Walsh Steel City Showdown this year too, like just for fun. I feel like it would be the most fun event ever, and I was like.
yeah.
Hoping that a contest would line up where I could just like stay an extra week and do that. But I think that'll all be canceled too.
Yeah.
Do you have any desire of hitting urban, or are you purely thinking backcountry and park for now?
No, yeah, I have a bungee, so I definitely want to. I almost bought a winch too.
Yeah.
But there's not a lot of urban spots in Wiss.
Like none.
There's like a couple rails, but they're not that sick. So
Yeah.
maybe I have a Can West Pass this year, so probably gonna do a BC trip and bring the bungee and
That'd be sick.
see what we find on the way. Yeah.
Yeah. Van never gets enough snow, eh?
Yeah, no, they like when it does snow, it's sweet. Like there's a lot of because nothing's really capped,
Yeah.
so
But they don't
Yeah,
never usually get enough
but-
snow.
we've been getting a lot of rain.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll see.
Been surfing this summer at all?
Yeah, I was in Tofino for like 3 weeks, surfing a bunch. That was dope.
I'm
Trying
mad-
to get back out in like January.
Mad jealous of that. That's sick.
Yeah.
That's
it's
gotta be
sweet.
the vibe. I haven't been to Tofino yet, so next time I come out, me and you are going backcountry. We're hitting up some huts, and we're going surfing in Tofino. And then
Yeah,
maybe I'll make it out for the
Yeah.
winter this year, and we'll go ski some backcountry too.
I'll show you the BC lifestyle. Convert you.
Dude, I've already been converted. I'm just trying not to get converted again. I know what I'm in for, and I know the fun times I have when I'm out there, but I got bigger fish to fry in the meantime, and then I'll make my time
Think
with
about doing
it.
your podcast out at a backcountry hut. Just pillow fields behind you. The
Pretty-
vlogs you can make.
Pretty
It's
insane.
really it's like it's a content haven for you. You love it.
It would be. That's why I want to make like a couple week trip out there, not just to make content, but just to shred with the boys and have a really good time. Because, like, I'm gonna miss like if I don't get a ski with you guys, like in terms of like just contests, like maybe it's not a go this year. Who knows? But if I don't get to hang out with the boys and go skiing at least a couple laps, I'm just stuck ripping Louis by myself and like occasional maximize trips. I'm gonna lose my mind. So,
Yeah.
but I got that I got that $500 pass or whatever with Whistler Freestyle, and
Oh, sweet.
I think I'll be coming out. I just don't know when. I haven't planned it out yet. You have to let me know when it's good.
Yeah, like January, February will be sick, or spring. Do both.
I was gonna do both. I was gonna do spring for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like midwinter for like real skiing, and
Yeah.
also like full blackline because they're gonna be closing Blackham early,
Oh yeah.
ending Whistler. So if you want to come for jumps, you gotta hit that date, which is sometime in April,
Sick.
and they shut down Blackline. So
Well, I'll have to stay on top of that, and
Yeah.
I'll make sure I get that. All right, Kai. Anything else you want to touch base on the podcast before we dip out? I mean, you did an hour. We had complications with the phone, the cameras, all the nonsense that I'm supposed to be in charge of. This is why I'm supposed to have a podcast person to help me deal with this nonsense. But thank you for sticking to it. Do you got anything you want to add? Anything you want to say?
subscribe to Bruce's OnlyFans. Let's make it happen.
Let's make it happen. Bruce Olden for
Yeah.
president 2021.
Let's go.
OnlyFans coming in hot. Only pictures of my toes, my pinky toes specifically. maybe my big thumb if I'm feeling really outgoing today. But yeah,
What the ski community needs.
it's what the ski community needs, and it's not what they want, but it's what they need.
Exactly.
All right, dude, I'm gonna end the podcast there.